categorised. Soon they may just be called complainants. We'll look at that in more detail. And plus, how mass migration has helped price the young out of the housing market over the last decade. Are you, or your children, or your grandchildren, or someone you know, one of those people who's missed out? Those stories and more after the 9 o'clock news.
On FM, online, on your mobile and on digital radio. Leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC.
From Global's newsroom at 9 o'clock, Theresa May has sacked Damien Green, who was effectively her deputy, following an inquiry into claims pornography was found on his work computer. The report cleared him of using the material, but discovered he made misleading statements about what he knew. It's found the police did tell Mr Green what they found when they raided his Commons office in 2008. Labour MP Jess Phillips has told LBC she welcomes the news of his departure.
I think that the right decision has been made, and Theresa May has shown that regardless of her own personal loyalties, that she is willing to sort of take action where people are acting with improprieties.
14 people have been injured, several critically, after a car was driven at pedestrians in Melbourne. It happened outside Flinders Street train station during the evening rush hour in the city. Commander Russell Barrett from Victoria Police says 2 people have been arrested.
At this stage, we believe it's a deliberate act. Can I repeat that? At this stage, we believe it is a deliberate act. However, we do not know the motivation, and it is still early stages of the investigation.
Polls have opened for elections in Catalonia. The Spanish government hopes it'll strip pro-independence parties of their control of the region's parliament. Opinion polls suggest separatist candidates are neck and neck with unionists. Sylvester Stallone is being investigated by police in California over an allegation of sexual misconduct. The claim against the actor dates back to the early 1990s. Stallone has previously denied a sexual assault claim from the previous decade. The board of Toys R Us will meet creditors later this morning to try to avoid entering administration. The retailers tabled a compromise deal to the Pension Protection Fund that would wipe out its pension deficit within a decade. Around 3,200 jobs currently hang in the balance. Former Pensions Minister Baroness Altman says the deal could be crucial.
If the PPF doesn't feel that the company is behaving well enough to support its scheme, then the PPF will vote against the deal, and the company will, unfortunately, go into administration.
A car park in Leicester, where the skeleton of Richard III was dug up, has been given protected status. The bones were discovered in 2012 before being reburied at Leicester Cathedral. The site's now being granted protection by the government on the advice of Historic England. The LBC Markets report: a short time ago, the FTSE 100 was up 4 points at 75.29. The pound buys $1.33 and €1.12. LBC weather: much of England and Wales will be mild and cloudy. Some rain in places, mostly dry and bright for Scotland and North East England, and a high of 12 degrees. From Global's newsroom for LBC, I'm Simon Conway.
At Homebase, we want you to challenge us on price. Our brand new range of kitchens from Kit & Caboodle are at low prices every day, so you don't have to wait for the sales. And if you buy a new kitchen now, you can have it delivered to your local store within 7 days. So come see for yourself and put us to the test. We're confident you won't find better value on kitchens. Homebase, always low prices. Terms and conditions apply.
LBC travel still very slow on the M25 anti-clockwise to junction 3 and the M20, and that's because a lorry's broken down, and there are delays as well on the M25 clockwise to junction 6 at Godstone after a car broke down earlier. Only one lane's open on the North Circular Road in both directions in Ealing because of a burst water main, so it's very busy both ways. Flights at London City Airport are now delayed again this morning. That's because of the fog, and Heathrow Connect trains remain suspended, and there are delays of about half an hour on Great Western Railway services in and out of Paddington. LBC Travel, I'm Joanne Webb.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Ferrari at breakfast.
Well, it's 3 minutes after 9 on Thursday, the 21st of December. A change in the law, possibly, in the language at least, of how victims of rape are categorised. More details on that. A fray in a manger. The extraordinary row that leads to police being called as primary pupils break down in tears because their head mocks their, quote, rubbish nativity play. Plus, as you heard on the LBC News Bulletins, a rocky road for Sylvester Stallone. More details on those allegations later in the hour.
Nick Ferrari at breakfast. Call 03 045 60 60 973. Text 84850. Nick Ferrari at breakfast on LBC.
Senior legal figures suggesting last night police should refer to people who report rape as complainants rather than victims. Let's just let those two words hang in the air for a moment. If you're a young cop, a rookie cop as they're called, and automatically someone's described as a victim, what's going to go through your mind? Precisely, isn't it? Precisely. Absolutely right. Because if someone's facing trial, you wouldn't say they've been convicted before you actually know. So should victim be replaced with complainant? The terminology is undermining impartiality, leading to miscarriages of justice. MPs and members of the judiciary have also called for an overhaul of current guidelines, which demand that officers automatically believe complainants from the outset. Now, this is a complete sea change from how it used to be. And this is possibly why we've seen Liam Allen, the case that's had a lot of publicity last week, and another case in Croydon, cases sensationally being dropped within court because it was found that evidence that should have been disclosed has not been disclosed. But let's tread carefully here a little bit, because I'm old enough and certainly ugly enough to remember the days when a copper would think, oh, well, you brought it on yourself, love. What, wear a skirt like that? What, you went and had a few drinks? Oh, well, you haven't got a choice, have you? Now, I wouldn't imagine that any of us want to go back to those days, do we? 2 rape cases collapsed in the past week because a detective constable, who has now been suspended in the Met's Child Abuse and Sexual Offences Unit, failed to disclose text messages. He's been removed from his duties, but lawyers say the problem is not down to one rogue officer, but systemic problems caused by the current approach to sex abuse cases. Let's speak with Karma Melli, who's a QC and criminal barrister at Park Square, specialising in sexual offences. Where are you on the use of this language? Good morning to you.
Good morning. Well, when I deal with cases, prosecuting or defending, I describe to the person who has made the complaint as a complainant. I think it's a more helpful, more neutral term. But I think what's important here is that I do that in all cases. You know, we shouldn't, and the police shouldn't assume guilt or innocence in any crime on any side. They should come to a case neutrally, prosecute to investigate possibilities of either guilt or innocence of that suspect. And that should be true across the board in all offences. I agree with you, Nick. We've come a really long way in how women are treated at the police station. I don't want us to go back. Women need to be treated, or people who make sex complaints need to be treated sensitively and kindly, and their account should be taken at face value at the point that it's being taken. But after that, there needs to be an investigation considering whether or not the suspect is innocent.
How tough is it for a police officer then? It's quite a fine line he or she has to tread, is it not?
It is a very fine line, and you know, it's important, as I say, that this happens across all cases. Nobody, just because they've got either previous convictions or, you know, a suspect who behaved in an aggressive way on arrest, should there be an assumption by the police that that person who's been arrested or has been accused is guilty. And that's the point about this disclosure issue that we've seen recently as well. That it needs to be that system that we have in place of giving the defence material that might undermine the prosecution case needs to be followed in all cases. And us at the coalface, I would say at the criminal bar, see that there are difficulties in disclosure across all crimes and not just in sex cases.
You're a professional in this field. When I read in the Daily Telegraph that the proportion of reported rape cases ending in a conviction has halved in the past 7 years, despite thousands more alleged victims coming forward, what does that tell us about the system in your view?
Well, I think the system isn't necessarily to blame for that. Unlike other offences, sexual offences happen in private. There isn't CCTV. There's not going to be forensic evidence in the vast majority of cases, because in the majority of cases the issue is going to be consent. And so in a lot of cases you do not have a rape that might fit a stereotype that jurors or people coming to court might have of a woman dragged off the street and into the bushes. The vast majority of rapes that we see happen between people that know each other, and so where there is always going to be some difficulty in proving the case, because all you have is the evidence quite often of the complainant herself. And so it is the nature of the offence itself that makes difficulty sometimes in getting convictions, and that doesn't mean that the vast majority of rapes that are reported are completely fictitious or made up. We have a system where guilt cannot be found unless the jury is sure. Anything less, of course, they have to acquit.
And lastly, you won't be surprised to hear that this has been a subject of conversation for the last couple of weeks on my radio show. You might be surprised to hear that a lot of people are suggesting that the women involved in these two high-profile cases, the police should at least have a look at possible prosecutions for wasting police time or even perverting the course of justice. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I can't comment on those specific cases because the detail that's come out, I think, has been quite limited in terms of us telling us, yes, there's been failures of disclosure, but about...
Well, we know in the first case, of course, she enjoyed a regular sexual activity and indeed fantasised about sexual acts with that chap, so we do know that much, don't we?
We do know that much. You know, we have seen, and I have seen cases where there has been a consensual sexual relationship that has still included rape, even though there may have been enjoyment about sex at some stage in the relationship. So that's why I'm being cautious here. But fundamentally, your listeners are quite right. Where there is any suspicion that a woman has or a complainant has made a false report of a crime, whether it be of a sexual offence or any other matter, that needs to be investigated. Being accused of something that you haven't done must be one of the most horrific life events to go through. And we do see the police and the CPS bring charges against people who make false reports, sometimes, as you say, for perverting the course of justice, a very serious offence indeed. So yes, I imagine that will be being looked at.
Carmen Melly, QC, thank you. You're a criminal barrister at Park Square. You specialise in sexual offences. Listeners, that is Harvey Proctor, who's former Conservative MP for Basildon and Billericay, wrongfully accused in Operation Midland. Originally called for this development before Sir Richard Henriquez in a press conference in August 2015 following Operation Midland, and joins me now. Are you relieved to see that this change might be coming about? Good morning to you, Mr. Proctor.
Good morning to you. The change is long overdue. You're right to say that as a result of the senior police officers in Operation Midland regarding the person who made complaints against me and others, not just for child serial rape, but also for 3 murders, that this should be looked at very closely. It is overdue. Had the police followed my advice in August 2015, the 2 cases, for example, you're talking about, would not have arisen.
How do we guard against, if you agree that they were the dark days and there was a sense that the girls, often the girls, not always, but normally the girls, brought it on themselves, how do we guard against a return to that?
The police have a responsibility to take seriously any complaints that are made to them, but they should investigate the complainant as much as the suspect to ensure that offences have taken place. In Operation Midland, the Metropolitan Police Commissioner, Sir Bernard Hogan-Howe at that time, and Sir Richard Henriquez made it quite clear there were no offences.
Yes, but if, and I hear that's obviously what touched you personally and in an appalling fashion, but if we move to a more...
And still does. The impact of this on the 2 people and others who are falsely accused will not go away when the press's interest turns elsewhere. It is long and hard.
And what has it meant for you, Mr. Proctor?
I'm still struggling.
In what way, sir?
It has had an effect on me physically and mentally, and I'm not sure that I will ever get over it.
When it was finally, the case was stood down, how did you feel then?
Well, of course, I was pleased that Sir Richard Henriquez and Sir Bernard Hogan-Howe, chased by Sir Richard, eventually apologised. But as I said personally to Sir Bernard Hogan-Howe when I met him, the apology does not put me back into the position I was before the police's investigation. In that, in my position, and the Metropolitan Police solicitors are being very reticent in settling my claim against them. That has added injury, insult to injury in that case.
Lastly, is there any timeline for when you might know what the Met solicitors are going to do?
No, they are forcing me to do something I did not wish to do, and that is to sue the Metropolitan Police, Leicestershire Police, and Nick, the complainant, with offences, through the High Court.
I see. Harvey Proctor, thank you for your time. You're a former Conservative MP for Basildon and Billericay. You were wrongfully accused in Operation Midland. In the wake of the national scandals such as that of Jimmy Savile, police have been encouraged to take allegations of sexual offences more seriously. They are told to just view the person coming forward as the victim. Now, I don't care which way you dress it up. If you're a young cop and you're told to regard someone as a victim, what does that make you think? Surely we need to go back to the days of a complainant, but we have this desperately tight, difficult line to tread, I should say, in that you don't want to go back to the days when, and honestly, I know if you're of a younger generation, you won't believe this possible, but in the old days, there was a sense that if a girl went and wore a short top or short skirt or had a few drinks with a bloke, oh, well, you brought it on yourselves, love. There were even cases where judges said, well, what do you expect if you have a few drinks with a man? So how do we have, because you don't want to go back to those days, but equally I don't think we want to live in current times where we were perilously close to innocent people being convicted for crimes they did not commit. So how do we balance the two? We'll take your views on that. Plus, coming up, A Fray in a Manger, the nativity play that ended with the police being called because the head told the pupils, the primary school pupils, they were rubbish. Details on that. 9:16. Off to the LBC Travel Desk then, Joanne Webb.
Thanks, Nick. Long delays on the M25 anti-clockwise to junction 3 at the M20. Now, it's because a lorry has broken down, and as a result, the exit slip road is closed. Only one lane's open on the North Circular Road in Ealing because of a burst water main that is in both directions, and it's very busy now. In Swiss Cottage, 2 lanes are closed on the A41 Finchley Road northbound because the traffic lights aren't working, and flights at London City Airport are delayed again this morning because of the fog, and Heathrow Connect trains, they remain suspended. LBC Travel, I'm Joanne Webb.
LBC and its sister stations from Global bring you a brand new event, the Global Awards, rewarding the very best from the world of music, news and entertainment. The Global Awards.
And the award for Best News Moment, Interview or Debate goes to...
One incredible night with performances from Andrea Bocelli and Sam Smith performing live. And you can have your say on who will win at the Global Awards. Voting is now open. To vote, download the Global Player app or go to lbc.co.uk. March the 1st, 2018. The Global Awards. It's coming.
Everyone likes to get a broadband deal, but who's got time to go searching for them? At BT, we do the hard work for our broadband customers by offering them personalised deals. So now getting the right deal takes no time at all. If you're our broadband customer, you can find your personalised deal at bt.com/mydeal. It's ready and waiting for you.
Miss Dixon, the doctor will see you in room 2.
This year, GP appointments are available in your area over Christmas. If you need to see a doctor, contact your practice or visit nhs.uk/GP access for more information. Your NHS, here for you this Christmas.
I'm there as she's rushed down the corridor of A&E. Her blooded hands are hanging limp from the side of the hospital bed. She desperately needs a transfusion. She keeps asking for her fiancé. We turn the corner, and I'm here finally in the snack aisle. I pick up a selection of crisps before realising that I forgot the potatoes. Back to the fruit and veg aisle it is then. As a blood donor, you can save someone's life while going about yours. Register at blood.co.uk.
You've wrapped the presents and stuffed the stockings. Your list is ticked until you remember the Christmas cake. For you are the last-minute panicker. But relax, Lidl has £2 off a handcrafted Christmas cake, now only $7.99. Every little thing for Christmas. Subject to availability, excludes NI.
When our dog Cooper was hit by a car, we thought he was wrong. We rushed to PDSE where the vets and nurses worked miracles to save him. But PDSE is a installation plus a message at your standard network rate and must have the bill payer's permission. For full terms, visit pdsa.org.uk/star.
Too cold to go outside? Now you don't have to thanks to the Vodafone Big Winter Sale. Enjoy non-stop streaming, sharing and surfing with the UK's lowest priced unlimited fibre broadband plus home phone. For only £20 a month for 18 months for existing mobile customers plus £9.95 delivery. Just one of the amazing offers in the Vodafone Big Winter Sale. Go in store or online today. The future is exciting. Ready? The Vodafone.
18-month agreement, subject to credit check and availability. Full terms at vodafone.co.uk/broadband. Ends 28th of Feb.
Nick Ferrari at breakfast on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Been to your son or daughters or sons and daughters or grandchildren's nativity play? How was it for you? Hopefully it went better than the one I'm going to tell you about in a few moments at the, was it Windsor Clive Primary School, which is near to Cardiff, where this following morning police were called. Why? Details in a moment. First, this possible change in the law. Someone who claims they have been raped is not automatically, quotes, a victim, but rather, quotes, a complainant. Herbie and Harrow, how necessary is this? Good morning.
Well, Nick, what a minefield they're on about. It really is. You know, it's never going to be an easy solution, because I know somebody that was, you know, sort of like physically or sexually abused at 8 years old.
Oh, Lord. And
she's now put this complaint in. I know it's after many years. And the police have come back and said there's nothing we can do. Why not? This person, traceable, he was seen a few months ago, and he abused this girl for almost 4 years.
Right.
And in fact, what she found out was also that her brother was abused, which she only discovered herself a year ago.
Right, right.
So, you know, the complainants, you've got to investigate everything, but, you know, I don't think you need to broadcast it. I think the police do need to investigate firstly before they go start, you know, shouting off about, you know, Mr. Proctor there was you know, wrongly accused.
Yes.
You know, but, you know, this particular person has complained to the police. It's a complaint, but nothing's been done. They don't want to chase anything up. Yet this person's walking the streets even today. What else he's doing? Because she's heard that other things have happened since then, you know, which she's discovered.
But no, I'm grateful you're not naming anyone, because the minute you name anyone, we have to stop our conversation. But if it is as you say, why do you suppose it is the police don't want to take it forward? They're concerned they just can't make it stick, I imagine. Is that right?
No, I just don't think they want to, you know, the time scale that it may involve and this, you know, they just don't seem to want to know. But see, unfortunately, the police are under so much pressure. They've got so much, you know, they're short of staff and everything else. But this has gone on. I mean, say, if you knew the effect it has on her now, you'd be absolutely gobsmacked, you know, that she'll keep on repeating it every now and then, because she was abused from the age of 8.
Horrific. Horrific.
You know, and in fact, they did get the person. They did get the person, and this is what was said, was that the police said, oh, we can't take anything, we're not going any further, because he's getting married tomorrow. What?
No. Really?
Yep, that's what he's getting married tomorrow. And this poor girl was left, you know, stunned that, you know, that this had happened. But to say, because they're not going to do anything because he's getting married tomorrow.
No, it's absolutely absurd when you think they've hauled actors, totally innocent actors off stage before now. Police forces subsequently found out for no reason. Herbie, thanks for getting started on that. We'll have more on that in a moment. So have you been to your child or children's or your grandchildren's or indeed a friend's nativity play? How was it for you? Well, I imagine it went better than it did at Windsor Clive Primary School, which is near Cardiff. Headmistress Vicky Meadows stands accused of reducing pupils to tears over their poor behaviour during the performance on Monday. One parent has said a father had to be removed from the school, while others say their children were so traumatised by the telling off after the show, they were still crying at bedtime. Now, the following morning, after the show that caused all the trouble, up to 30 parents descended on the school, yelling abuse at a receptionist and demanding an explanation from the head. The confrontation saw her call the police and cancel that day's performance. Father of two, Lee Robinson, tells the Daily Mail, the head teacher told the children they'd done brilliantly in front of the parents. But my son said afterwards they were told they were absolutely rubbish, and if they didn't behave better, they would be given bread and water at the Christmas party. Goodness me. Chris Berwick has an 8-year-old daughter in the play, quotes, all the parents were clapping and cheering at the end, and we were very proud of them. But after the parents had gone, the head told how disgraceful they were. The children were devastated and were crying. It's understood that children in the years 3 to 6 took part in the nativity production. Oh dear, dear, dear. Spokesman for Cardiff Council says some parents have alleged that Following the Christmas concert, pupils were spoken to in an inappropriate manner. The school refutes this. South Wales police say there have been no arrests. Oh dear, let's turn to Anthony Peltier, who's head teacher at Stifford Clays Primary School in Essex, who joins me now. I imagine when we think about it, Mr. Peltier, you have a time when children are very excited, parents are very stressed, teachers are very tired at the end of yet another school term. There can't be a worse time to mount these productions, can there? Good morning.
Good morning, Nick. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, sir.
Good. I mean, the fun about nativity, the whole idea that children get it wrong. Someone takes the baby away, the donkey falls over, and they get the words upside down and backwards. That's all part of the fun of children performing on stage. This is why in our school we have the youngest children that did the nativity play, the absolute youngest, from 2 to 4.
Yes.
And it is about the parents seeing their children on a stage, just having an absolutely great time.
Yes.
And what happens at the end, they get clapped, and we say to the children, absolutely well done, enjoyed it, loved it, and the kids walk away with their towel on their head, their tea towel on their head, a bit of string around it, and they and that's the whole idea behind the nativity. It's not meant to be stressful. I'm very surprised to hear what you've just read about this head teacher. I cannot imagine any head teacher.
It's not the role.
Conversation about children.
It's not the role of a head, is it? After watching his or her children perform like that, to be as I imagine Jose Mourinho was in the dressing room at Bristol last night after watching his team be beaten by Bristol City 2-1. I imagine Mr. Mourinho spoke to his players a certain way. That's not what a head needs to do, is it?
Nick, in my entire career, I've never ever heard or seen of that before. And don't get me right, we work hard to impress our parents. Of course we do. We want our parents to be proud of their children. My biggest issue is when parents want to take lots and lots and lots of photographs and they post other children's pictures online when other parents don't want it. That's my biggest problem.
Yes.
But apart from the play is absolutely great fun, and kids are meant to get it wrong. And Jesus is not meant to speak, or Jesus is not going to say a word, or Mary decides that she's going while the play's in full motion. That's part and parcel of the children.
Is that what you've seen then, have you? Mary just decides to leave the stage?
We do it kind of a modern version, and one of the angels that was leading the part this year just decided to have a change of clothing and went to get a different dress on halfway through the play, which is great fun because she wants to be all tidy for the second half. But there was no interval. It was running for about 40 minutes, and she went off to the other side, put another dress on, everyone waited, and she came back on. That's part and parcel of a 3-year-old in a play.
It passed off all right at your school last year then, Mr. Peltier, everything?
3 shows, and it was absolutely brilliant. Parents smiled and laughed, and the children had a great time.
And that's what we want to hear. Thanks for your time. Anthony Peltier is head teacher at Stifford Clays Primary School in Thurrock, Essex. Thank you for that. Back to slightly more weighty matters, certainly legal matters, although the police were involved in this. Fortunately, no charges. And this is a possible change in the law from being a victim if you claim you've been raped, or you allege rape, to being a claimant. Mark in Oxted, police have rightly been criticised over the collapse of the recent rape trial, but I hope some mention is made of the fact it was known that there was phone evidence in that trial, and yet neither the reviewing lawyer, prosecutor or defence barrister even thought of asking whether there was a download of the messages. These omissions should have been spotted months before the trial started and should tell you something about what state our legal system is in. This will only get worse. They cannot recruit detectives and are now having to have PCs investigating crimes at higher levels. The first lot of special constables who are doing the direct entry route to being a detective have just started this week. Things will only get worse, in my opinion, says Mark. James in Kensington on this. James, your view. Good morning.
Good morning, Nick. Yeah, you were talking about the rape complainants being referred to as victims. I remember a couple of years ago on LBC, I think it was, Alison Sanders, the Director of Public Prosecution, she repeatedly spoke of the...
Hello? Oh dear, what does she refer? I think, unfortunately, we've lost you. She repeated Alison Ross was the DPP. While we try and get you back, let's come back into some more of your emails, texts and tweets on this. Alan says the solution... Oh, we've got James, have we? Let's try again. James, Alison Sanders said what on LBC? Good morning again.
Good morning. She said that she repeatedly spoke of the victim when she was talking about rape complainants, and I thought at the time, that doesn't seem very, very good, that someone in her position would be referring to the complainant as the victim, because it's obviously a bias. Yes. And because the reason why she was on LBC was because the CPS had introduced new guidelines guidelines for public prosecutors for rape cases.
Yes.
And there was an article by Melanie Phillips soon after about that, called "The Real Myth is that all men are rapists." And Melanie Phillips basically said that those guidelines back in 2015 were effectively against the presumption of innocence.
Right. And is that what we're seeing now? Do you think then, James?
Well, exactly. I think it's a bigger picture. I think the CPS has been entirely pervaded by political correctness, driven by Alison Saunders. She's been the one that's been behind that, and it hasn't just been rape. It's also been on matters such as FGM, where there's been no convictions for 30 years because they're too scared of offending certain communities, and also on honour crimes. And the bottom line is that Alison Saunders should have been fired years ago, and she's ultimately responsible for what's happening now.
Well, it was certainly using language like that. Whether she's wholly responsible for what's happened in these cases might be a bit of a stretch, but that language is at best a little clumsy when you consider the position she's in. James, thank you. We will stay with us. Also coming up after the news, mass migration has helped price the young out of the housing market over the last decade. Net migration figure, well, some 2.5 million people. Does that resonate with you or someone you know or love? We'll have more details on that after this. It's 9:30. You're listening to Breakfast with me, Nick Ferrari, here on LBC. Time for the news. Simon Conway.
The Prime Minister is having to replace a third member of her cabinet in just a few weeks. Theresa May has sacked her deputy, Damien Green, after an investigation into claims pornography was found on his work computer. A car has crashed into pedestrians in Melbourne, injuring 14 people in what police have described as a deliberate act. 2 people have been arrested after the 4x4 hit crowds outside a major train station. Toys R Us is facing collapse unless a rescue deal can be agreed with creditors this morning. The retailer is offering a deal to wipe out its pension deficit within a decade. LBC weather: much of England and Wales will be mild and cloudy. Some rain in places, mostly dry and bright for Scotland and northeast England. A high of 12 degrees.
LBC travel very slow on the M25, anti-clockwise junction 3 at the M20, where a lorry has broken down, and as a result the exit slip road is closed. Only one lane's open in both directions on the North Circular Road in Ealing because of a burst water main, so that's causing queues. In Swiss Cottage, 2 lanes are closed on the A41 Finchley Road northbound, where the traffic lights aren't working. And flights at London City Airport are delayed again this morning because of the fog, and Heathrow Connect trains, they remain suspended, and delays on Great Western Railway services in and out of Paddington are about half an hour. LBC Travel, I'm Joanne Webb.
This is LBC.
Merry Christmas. It's a phrase you'll hear a lot this time of year. But Christmas is not always happy, particularly for men involved in a divorce they didn't choose. Meanwhile, they await the outcome in someone else's home this Christmas. These men need more than the help of a good Cordell & Cordell lawyer. They need the hope and encouragement of a good friend. If I've described someone that you count among your friends, be sure to remember him in this season. Visit cordellcordell.co.uk. Cordell & Cordell, a partner men can count on.
Miss Dixon, the doctor will see you in room 2.
This year, GP appointments are available in your area over Christmas. If you need to see a doctor, contact your practice or visit nhs.uk/GP access for more information. Your NHS, here for you this Christmas.
Hi, I'm Michael Owen. Don't let being injured spoil your Christmas. In fact, I was always injured at Christmas, so make the most of it. And if you were injured on the road or at work, contact Gowing Law.
Merry Christmas, Michael. If you've been injured on the road or at work and it wasn't your fault, Gowing Law could help you win thousands in compensation. To find out more, text WIN to 80800.
Text WIN to 80800. Go win with Gowing Law.
I'm there as she's rushed down the corridor of A&E. Her blooded hands are hanging limp from the side of the hospital bed. She desperately needs a transfusion. She keeps asking for her fiancé. We turn the corner, and I'm here, finally, in the snack aisle. I pick up a selection of crisps before realising that I forgot the potatoes. Back to the fruit and veg aisle it is then. As a blood donor, you can save someone's life while going about yours. Register at blood.co.uk.
Sky TV customers, join us this Christmas on the Sky Sports Premier League channel. We've got huge clashes as Arsenal seek revenge on Liverpool. Here's Coutinho. The big London derby as Chelsea go to Arsenal, plus fierce rivalries as Everton host both Man United and Chelsea. All live only on Sky Sports. Christmas is for football. Get the Sky Sports Premier League channel for £18 a month. Upgrade today. Search Sky Sports. Cancellation requires 31 days notice. Further terms apply.
Nick Ferrari at breakfast on LBC.
With H.A.R.P
Hilton by Hilton. Check in at your hotel with the Hilton Honours app.
If you're young, or you have a son or daughter, or possibly a grandchild, and they cannot get into the housing market, what's the reason? What's the cause? Is it because of the soaring house prices, which are fairly incredible, you know? I mean, it's extraordinary. I am very, very fortunate in that I earn a decent wage. And I probably could afford to buy the house. The way the value of my house is sort of quite remarkable. But when I think if I was what I was earning now, if I tried to buy what I was earning then when I bought it, I wouldn't be able to afford the house in which I live. I wonder how many more of you like that. In reality, the way the house prices have soared, particularly if you're in London and the South East and inside or just outside of the M25, you'll have seen your house price soar. And in many instances, you'll think, do you know, I couldn't afford the house I'm living in now. That is the reality of it. But what's the cause of it? Lack of housing stock, soaring prices? What is it? Or is it, as a report suggests, migration? Well, that's, as I say, this report is saying, mass migration has priced the young out of the housing market over the last 10 years. High levels of net migration have fueled demand for rental properties, which means young people are paying the price through higher rents. In turn, this means it's more difficult for them to save a deposit to get on the housing ladder. I can undersee how this is going. This is from the Migration Watch. We'll be speaking to someone from that organisation in just a moment. In the last 10 years, net migration, just to remind you, that's the difference between those leaving and those arriving, has totaled 2.5 million, many of whom decided to come to the UK after the then Prime Minister Tony Blair threw open the country's doors to Eastern Europe. Well, I mentioned Migration Watch. Mehmet is Vice-Chairman there and joins me now. Surely there are, as I outlined briefly, other reasons, though. Mr. Mehmet, good morning.
Well, I'm sure they are. This is just the principal primary reason, the main driver of demand for housing, and it seems to be the only element that's overlooked by both politicians and a lot of commentators.
But also, it's the soaring cost, Mr. Mehmet, isn't it?
Well, the soaring cost, that's the whole point. The demand and the huge demand for housing is pushing up the price of housing. It's also pushing up the demand for rent, and that, of course, is going up as well, which means that young people are paying more and more rent and totally incapable of saving enough money for deposits. So it becomes a very much a vicious circle for young, that affects young people much more than it does you and me.
So you're saying it's a contributory factor or it's the key factor?
It's the key factor. 80%.
But surely, sorry to talk over you, but Mr. Mehmet, surely the key factor is we haven't built enough houses.
Well, we haven't built enough houses, but on the other hand, if immigration was not driving this demand, then we would have built enough houses. We've needed something like 300,000 houses a year.
Yes.
We've actually built 130,000 on average each year over the past 10 years. Now, if we didn't have this huge demand coming from immigration, 80% of households being headed by someone born abroad, the households formed over the last 10 years, then...
Hang on. 80% of households in the UK are headed by someone not born in this country?
Of the increase of households, the number of households additionally made...
Sorry, over 10 years, so just so I nail this, over the last 10 years, you're saying 80% of the increase in houses are in London. I'm so sorry, I didn't hear in London. I'm sorry, go ahead, sorry, yeah.
It's 90% in England.
90%?
90% of the additional households formed in England have been headed by someone born abroad.
Okay.
That's over the last 10 years. And it's the formation of households that actually leads to the demand for rents, for rentals and for housing.
Okay. But do you not also see the other point, that if we built more houses, we wouldn't have this problem?
Well, if we built 300,000 houses a year, we wouldn't have the problem. The fact is, though, that you are planning effectively for housing for future migrants rather than actually addressing what the problem is, and that is for those who are already here. And that's overlooked time and time again by the politicians. All we're saying is you cannot meet demand without controlling immigration in a much more effective way than we're affecting it. We're controlling it at the moment.
Do you have a figure for how much rents have increased over this period?
In London, something like 36%.
And do we know the lastly? Do we know the rest of the country?